Many parents carry a quiet weight when it comes to education, a sense that they must get everything right, choose the perfect option, provide the ideal environment, produce the best possible outcome. And when things don't go as planned, when a child struggles or resists or falls behind, the pressure intensifies. Welcome back to the 9 traits of a life-giving transformative educational model. And today we arrive at trait number 9, the final trait, and in many ways the one that either sustains everything else or quietly undermines it. A culture of excellence, not perfection. And we often confuse excellence with perfection. Our culture has deeply confused these two ideas. For centuries, thinkers have tied excellence to comparison, superiority, power, and flawlessness. From ancient philosophy to modern performance culture, excellence has often meant being better than others or achieving some ideal standard without weakness or limitation. But that view produces anxiety, not growth. Perfectionism narrows learning and it discourages risk. It erodes joy. And eventually, it crushes perseverance. Biblically speaking, perfection is not what God requires of us. Excellence is. There's a biblical picture of excellence I want to take a look at. Scripture gives us a living definition of excellence, not an abstract one. Jesus Christ. He embodied excellence. He grew, he learned, he worked with his hands. He was perfect, but he was living within human limitations. The Gospel of Luke tells us that Jesus grew in wisdom, in stature, and in favor with God and man. Growth implies process. Process implies growth. And yet God calls this excellent. Perfection is something God promises to complete in us. Excellence is something he calls us to pursue right now. So what does excellence in education look like? Well, it's not about flawless performance. It is about faithful effort, honest growth, wise stewardship of gifts, and progress over time. Excellence asks, what is the most faithful work this child can offer today? Not compared to others, not compared to an imagined idea, but measured against the child's current capacity and calling. Excellence allows standards to rise as growth occurs, and perfection demands standards that crush growth before it even begins. A culture of excellence celebrates progress, but a culture of perfection fixates on results, and children immediately feel the difference. Perfectionism is harmful because perfectionism produces fear. Fear of failure, fear of mistakes, fear of being exposed. In educational environments that are driven by perfection, children will stop taking risks, their creativity will narrow, and motivation becomes external, and their learning becomes fragile. But excellence frees children to try and fail and learn and grow, because excellence is rooted in faithfulness, not fear, and faithfulness endures. So here are some simple questions to ask about your choices in education as you evaluate educational options. This final trait invites some pretty deep reflection. Ask questions like, does this environment emphasize growth or flawless performance? Are mistakes treated as part of learning or as failures to be avoided? Are standards applied with wisdom and flexibility or rigidly and uniformly? Is progress celebrated or only outcomes? And does this approach cultivate perseverance, humility, and resilience? Does my child feel safe to struggle and grow? And am I pursuing excellence or am I demanding perfection? This type of education rewards growth. God has never asked parents or children to be perfect. He has asked us to be faithful. A culture of excellence honors process over pressure, growth over comparison, faithfulness over fear. And when excellence, not perfection, guides education, children are free to become who God created them to be. Now, this concludes the 9 traits of a life-giving transformative educational model series. And if you have questions or comments or want to discuss any part of this further, I invite you to email me at hello@legacyparenting.net. And please take advantage of our resources for parenting and education. You can access those at legacyparenting.net and by subscribing to our podcast on your favorite podcast platform and to our Legacy Parenting YouTube channel. My prayer is that these traits give you clarity, courage, and peace as you steward the hearts and minds entrusted to you. Because education that transforms is not built on pressure. It is built on truth, grace, and faithful growth.